Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Tonight, we begin the first of two reports on Hong Kong.
For years, Bruce Graham was a fixture in maritime living rooms as the anchor of ATV Evening News. But what is he up to now? Find out when Bruce Graham joins us tonight.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News with Maria Panapallis and Jason Baxter.
Welcome back. Well, the most watched program in the Maritimes is the CTV News at 6. More than The Big Bang Theory, more than Grey's Anatomy, more than any other program. So through the years, different anchors have helmed the 6 o'clock newscast, including our next guest. I am just delighted to welcome back seasoned journalist and trusted anchorman, Bruce Graham. Thank you for being here.
Nice to be here.
It's so nice of you to come for this series. We've had, of course, we had Nancy and Paul on last night, Scott Boyd and Liz Rigney on Tuesday, and we're finishing off with former 6 o'clock anchor. How does it feel to be back in this building? I know it's not the first time you've been back over the years.
I've been here several times promoting books, mostly on my books. So I put this on Facebook too. There's always this feeling of coming back in here like I was going into my past, except it isn't my past because it looks so different.
It does.
You know, and the whole chemistry at the place. It's a much quieter newsroom than it was in my day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Typewriters going, or what do you mean?
No, we had computers, but there were more people, and it was noisier. That's I noticed it's very quiet here, like a bank.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay. See, that's funny because when it gets busy, we don't think it's quiet in here, but it's all perspective,
it seems quiet
isn't it?
to me,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you miss the business?
No.
No?
No, I was in it for 40 years, and it was time to go, and I wanted to write. So I went to my current employer at the time, and I said, the greatest thing that a broadcast executive wants to hear, I know a way to save you money. And so I took a cut in pay, and I took a cut in hours, and I started my first book, and I've never looked back.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yes.
You're writing as much as you can.
Yes.
You're actually going to be in Bedford tomorrow doing a signing for a couple of your books.
I am, from 11 until 1 o'clock.
And these are your books here, What a Friend We Have in Gloria, and also The Life of Alice. These are the ones you'll be signing tomorrow.
That's right.
At Indigo in Sunnyside Mall.
Indigo
we'll
Books
let people know. I'm sure people are going to come.
Sure.
All right. We couldn't bring you on here and not pull some old footage.
Okay.
Are you ready to see this?
Sure.
Yeah, let's take a look. You know, we were admiring your hair earlier today.
My hair?
Your hair. Look at your hair. That is some lustrous hair. When you see yourself, I mean, what are you thinking when you look at yourself so many years ago?
I don't know. It's very difficult. They were great years. I had a lot of fun doing television, working here. And I work with some great people. Wayne Clark was the cameraman, I believe, on that shoot with me. And I don't know where that is exactly. These are just random
these are just
shots.
Random shots of you anchoring.
Yes, that's the old newsroom. That's what the old newsroom looked like.
A lot of Maritimers remember it, for sure.
I'm sure they do.
You know, you've covered a lot of very high-profile stories through the years, and in some cases, you didn't really make any friends.
No, no, they were controversial. They could be controversial.
Right.
I was a knockdown, hard-nosed newsman.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. And
did you ever worry about that?
Occasionally. I was threatened a few times physically.
Whoa.
But, you know, it's part of the job, I guess. You know.
A former premier comes to mind.
Yes, which one are you talking about? That guy. Yeah, that guy. We had
Premier Richard Hatfield.
We had quite a time with Premier Richard Hatfield. First, there was the marijuana story, where he was the first premier, and I believe still today the only premier that's been charged with possession of marijuana when they found marijuana in a suitcase. And his lawyer at the trial tried to blame it on an ATV reporter in New Brunswick at the time. Wow. So it went on quite a while, and it was
quite a scandal, yeah.
Quite a scandal at the time, yeah.
The stories weren't all heavy, though. There were some fun ones too.
We had a lot of fun stories, sure.
The great pumpkin dispute between Howard Dill and Owen Woodman. Give me a little background here.
I love that story. Okay, this is a story about Owen Woodman and Howard Dill, and whether Owen's giant pumpkin was actually a pumpkin or a squash. Howard said it was a squash. Owen said it was a pumpkin. I love the story because I like both these men. They were men of the land, no nonsense guys, and I just had a good time doing this story. And it was the kind of story people would talk about, you know.
Oh, for sure. This would go viral on our website these days. So what was it in the end? Was it a pumpkin or a squash?
I think it was classified as a pumpkin. I think Owen was allowed to enter it, as I recall. Yeah.
All right. You've traveled quite a bit through the years too. Europe, Middle East, even Hong Kong, and we've got some footage of your trip to Hong Kong. I mean, you've really seen the world through this career.
I have. And I've just come back from Honolulu and Australia within the last month. So, yes, this is Hong Kong. And by the way, Pat Kennedy shot this, who's working here.
He's right behind the camera
He's right behind the camera. He shot this, and this is in the market in Hong Kong. And I remember we were in Burma, I think before or after Hong Kong. I can't remember what it was before or after. We shot some in the market in Burma, and Pat, who stands about what are you, 6'5"? He was the tallest guy, you know, and he stood at one end of the market. I could see him above everyone else because the Burmese are quite small people. Yeah.
We're talking about all of your old friends. Okay, we're going to play a little game here. We're going to pop some pictures up, and I want you to tell me the first thing you think when you see these people, okay? All right.
Meunier. Man, I saw Meunier. I saw you interview Meunier last night. Yeah, Meunier had his desk right across the aisle from mine, and he was doing sports, and he's given up television.
He told us last night he's living on a farm and he's doing PR.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Let's see who we've got next here. Oh, this young fella here.
That young fella, yes.
Do you remember working with him?
I do, of course I do. And
that's our own Steve Murphy for people that may not recognize
Steve Murphy. And when I first met Steve, I said, and he was doing talk radio, and I met him. I said, gosh, he looks about 12. Is he really doing talk radio? Yeah.
And he was good from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Okay, we're running out of time, but we've got two very special pictures to share. Bill Jessam here.
My great buddy, Bill Jessam, the great ghost storyteller, a great guy. I have many stories about Bill Jessam. I could fill an hour of Bill Jessam. Yeah.
And of course, Dave Wright.
And Dave Wright.
The incomparable.
Yeah. A great storyteller. We had a lot of fun. The first 2 or 3 months when we organized Live at 5, there was kind of a settling in period because Dave and I were always fighting over stories. You know?
Like who's going to get the chance to tell them?
Who's going to get the lead story?
Right.
So, but after about 3 months, we kind of worked that out, and we both took the lead story. We kind of split it, and he did his thing with it, and I put more of a hard news vent on it. But we'd have lots to talk about today, wouldn't we?
We still have lots to talk about. Unfortunately, we've totally run out of time, but it has been such a pleasure chatting with you.
Well, nice.
And I know viewers at home are probably beside themselves, just so pleased. But we want to tell everybody at home that if you'd like to see Bruce in person, he will be at a signing tomorrow in Bedford at the Sunnyside Mall at the Indigo, signing his 2 books, What a Friend We Have in Gloria and Life of Alice, on shelves right now. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.